Welcome once again to Chelan County Connection. I'm your host, Randy Rhodes. Today we welcome Deanna Walter. Deanna, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, wanted to welcome you back to the show. It's been a little while, maybe going on 2 years now, and you are the Director of Community Development for Chelan County. Let's talk a little bit about your position and kind of a overview of what you do.
Okay. So I took over in as the interim director in 2022 and as the permanent director in 2023. And so basically my days are filled with lots of customer service, managing staff, improving our efficiencies, working on customer service, um, working on projects, overseeing some of the big developments that are happening in the county, working with legislation. So lots, we do lots.
So, Deanna, let's talk just a little bit about the transition from assessor to community development. How did that go?
Well, it was kind of like jumping from the frying pan into the fire. So, yeah, my assessor office when I left was so smooth, basically ran itself. Staff is amazing over there. And our staff here at the community development is also amazing. It's just different. It's a very different environment. It's very fast paced, high stress, high volume. It's just different.
Well, Deanna, let's talk a little bit about that staff, what your staff is doing now, and a little bit about staffing numbers, if you didn't mind.
Sure. We have 24 staff, 25 including myself, and I consider myself a working manager. And so we've had a little bit of turnover in the last 2 years. And I think from the outside, that looks different than it does from the inside, because anytime you are in a new position as management or taking over a specific department, you inherit a lot. And so it's just working through that process with employees and the commissioners to find, who is the best fit for each of these positions. And it's not for everybody. It really isn't. It's high stress, high volume. We take a lot of hits from the public, and I get it. We're a well-known department, and people don't come to us because they want to. They come to us because they do. So part of our struggle really is how do we be the regulatory environment that we are required to by law and still be a front-facing, great customer service, not necessarily advocates, but facilitators for our community. And it's sometimes tough to balance that.
Hey, Deanna, if you didn't mind me asking, what are you most proud of over the last year? And let's hit on accountability.
Okay, so we have been really successful in getting our permit timelines down. When I came into the position, and I think we talked about this in the very first interview you did, that my goal was to get our permitting timelines down to 10 working days. And we hit that goal within a year. So in the same period of time, we lost all three of our building permit techs. Two of them went to the city of Wenatchee, and one went home to work with their husband's business. I encourage people that they need to do what is best for them. But at the time, it left us with no building permit techs. So we hired quickly, trained them up, and within a year, we had fully trained staff, and we had gotten our permit timelines down from 8, 10, 12 weeks to 2 weeks. And I need to clarify that. The 2 weeks is from the time they submit a completed application through our own internal plan review. So we do have some wait times. Some permits are not issued within 2 weeks' time, but it's because we're waiting on other agencies. Sometimes the health district, sometimes they need to do road naming, addressing. So there are other factors, but our internal review, we have had huge improvements too.
Deanna Walter, our guest on Chelan County Connection, and Deanna is the Community Development Director for Chelan County. And you brought up building permits. Deanna, let's touch on, for example, how many permits were issued last year by your department and what it's like so far this year.
So we're on pace with last year, although the numbers don't reflect that. There's a reason for it. This year, actually through today, we're at 194 permits. We had quite a few more last year, but it's because March 15th was the deadline for the energy code updates. So we had a rush of permit submittals. But we are on par with what we were, if we take out that anomaly, what we did last year, we are on par with. So my expectation is throughout this year that we are stable. Interest rates still are good. I mean, they're not great, but they seem to be coming down a little, which always encourages people to do home improvements and new construction. We're still doing lots of land use actions for plats and short plats and boundary line adjustments and certificates of exemption. So hopefully we will have the land capacity for that building.
Deanna, you had talked about a commitment to get building permits turned around in 2 weeks' time. What are some of the things, for example, that could hold up that process?
Well, we always encourage people ahead of time, before you submit your permit, make sure you go to the health district because sometimes you have to have septic test holes or certain permits if you're going to drill your own well. So we encourage people to do that in advance. Their permitting timelines, through no fault of their own, they're short-staffed just like every other agency out there. But sometimes it takes a little bit longer. So if somebody comes in and submits their building permit, we're ready to process it, and we could be all the way through plan review in 3 or 4 days. But they're waiting for the health district to issue their septic permit. So although right now we're at about a 57, 58%, we keep track of it, turnaround time on building permits, meeting our 2-week deadline. The reason that is low is not because we aren't getting our review done. It's because there are outside influences that may be delaying that.
You know, community development always seems to be kind of a hot topic, hot water cooler talk around the community. Can you speak a little bit, Deanna, to the high profile of your department?
Yeah, again, nobody comes to our department because they want to. They come here because they have to. So part of our job, and it's a work in progress, is making sure that their interaction with our department is pleasant. They may not always get the answer that they want, but we should always be professional. We should always be courteous and helpful. So land use and building construction is very personal for people. They're invested financially and emotionally in that. So it seems to be a hot topic during election season, especially, and we're seeing it now in the legislature. There's always criticism of the process. And that's hard to manage sometimes because so much of it is out of our control. A lot of the things that for example, the energy code, the things that we have to implement are state requirements, and we take the hit for it a lot. And I'm really proud of my staff. They understand that it's not personal, and our job is to facilitate the project.
I wanted to, if you don't mind, we're coming to a close this time out, and our guest on Chelan County Connection, Chelan County Director of Community Development, Deanna Walter. Deanna, before we do close out, any final thoughts you wanted to put out for the public?
Just, that our staff is great to work with. And I know we've had struggles in the past. It's been 20 years. I mean, a couple decades of, for lack of a better term, kind of bad juju with that department. And so we're working really hard to change that culture and be more approachable and customer service oriented. Cultural change takes time. And I just appreciate that the public is being patient and they are seeing improvements. And we do get phone calls and emails, and I've had people stop me and say, "Hey, we've noticed the difference." And that's what we want. We want to keep moving that direction.
Well, I wanted to say it's been very good to see you again, and want to thank you very much for you and your staff for all you do for our Chelan County community. And thanks for joining us today.
All right. Thank you.